welcome back to Will You Accept This Vlog?
Week 2.
Week 2. And to be honest, I don't think we have that many more weeks of Clare left.
I think maybe 1 or 2 more.
I think tops 2 more. And we can talk more about that later. We can talk about like the teaser trailer for next week and stuff. But so the episode starts out, the guys move in or whatever, and then Chris Harrison comes in, which I love seeing Chris Harrison on my TV screen. Something I want to point out that like stood out to me was the fact that he directly asked Dale, "How was it? You got the first impression road. So how are you feeling, Dale?"
That was never does that. Yeah, that was so bizarre. I still don't really understand. Obviously, they were trying to draw more attention to him.
Yeah.
And bring more attention to his story with Claire, but...
Yeah, I feel like they're definitely... I mean, again, ABC has not confirmed if Claire really does leave the show with Dale, but those are the rumors, and they're setting it up to be that way, which... I don't know. I'm like skeptic now. I'm like, why would they be telling us? Like normally they hide these things from us. So I don't know. But yeah, like they keep showing Claire saying, "Oh, I kept thinking about Dale all night" and stuff. So they're kind of setting it up for that.
Definitely. It was strange. I have so many thoughts about Claire and Dale and their interactions, and they've hinted at it obviously in the teaser trailer, which we're going to talk about later, but they've already hinted at the fact that the guys wondered if they had interactions before the show started. So who knows?
Yeah. And then we get to the first date, which here's where you can tell that this was shot in a bubble and away from all the normal things, because normally bachelor dates would be like, we're gonna go see the Backstreet Boys, or we're gonna go jump off a cliff, and they were like, we're gonna talk about love languages.
Normally, I thought it was interesting because normally that's like one part of a group date. Like they might start off doing that, but this time it was like the whole thing.
Yeah. They had an after party, but they were still kind of doing the love languages thing. So.
Which was strange. I mean, I get it. Claire is very deep and very in touch with her emotions, and she's obviously looking for a very, very serious relationship and a partner for the rest of her life. So
yeah,
you see why that direction. I didn't really get anything out of the first date.
Well, and also I feel like, and partly the reason why is because these guys were being forced to talk about the feelings they have for this girl that they just met yesterday. Like, remember, some of these guys didn't even get to talk to her night 1. Some of these guys got 0 time besides the 5 minutes they get when they step out of the limo.
Yeah.
So, like, I think they did a great job lying, apparently, because I don't know how much of that could have been true.
That's a very good way to look at it, and I totally agree with you that man, crazy. That is crazy.
And I will say one thing I love about the bubble is the fact that Chris Harrison gets to host all the dates. And I love him. Like, normally he hosts one here and there, but normally they bring other people. But I love that he was there for all of the dates,
That's great. It's going to be great. I think it's going to be a great season just because of that.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so interesting to see how this all plays out for sure.
Did someone on that date besides Dale stick out to you?
Not really. I thought so. The first date was the one where she wanted the guys to like chase after her, right? So, Bennett.
Her reaction there, because
I felt like it was a little dramatic and a little over the top. But it was obviously edited together, so we didn't see we don't know how long that awkward silence lasted.
Sure.
So maybe it was like 5 minutes, 10 minutes of them just like having bro time I know exactly, bro time as she says it.
Yeah.
But I just thought that whole thing was very strange, and I'm glad Bennett finally saved her a little bit.
Yeah.
But then she quickly moved on to the next thing because she couldn't handle.
I think it could have been several things. One, my first thought was like, oh no, they've been in quarantine so long they forgot how to interact with other humans. That was my first reaction. They were like,
No.
how does this work? And I was also thinking, because like sometimes if you haven't seen the show, you don't really know how it works. So I was like, maybe none of these guys ever saw the show before. They don't know they're supposed to pull her aside.
They didn't know what's happening.
No rules.
Oh, goodness. Oh, I put when I was thinking about the show, I put that the quality time really stressed me out, which is so true.
Yeah.
It was just a little too much, but
yeah. And yeah, I did feel like she overreacted a little bit there. She was like, but I don't know. I just feel like that's kind of Claire, and we weren't there, so we don't. Again, you don't know how long that silence was or not. But and then of course we have drama with Joseph again on the date.
wow, he's a hot mess. But well, and we can get to what happens later on in the show a little later. But I mean, the whole episode, he was kind of all over the place.
Well, and I will say, I think what he did this time wasn't like, oh, like he just said, if I could speak for the group, and they were like, whoa, don't speak for me. Like, all right, everybody needs to take a chill pill.
That's true. That is very true.
So, and then Riley gets the rose during the date, which I liked him. I like. What did you think of their prom dancing?
That was so awkward. So awkward.
He was awkward, but I do like him as a person. I think he's a good guy. So.
Yeah, that was good. That was good. I do like him. I'm curious. I don't get too many romancy vibes from them.
Well, but I mean, if we're being honest, Joy, do you get any romance vibes with her and anyone else besides Dale?
I thought I got a few, but it wasn't until later on in the episode when I felt like she was trying to give some of the other guys a little bit of an effort. Particularly the one, I can't remember his name, crashed the date for.
Oh, Blake Moynes.
Yes, there we go.
I think she likes him, yeah.
I think so too. I think she likes him and Dale the most.
Yeah.
But
her top two if she makes it to
top exactly.
Okay, so that's that date one, and then date number two surprisingly goes to Jason, which whenever they said his name, I was like, who?
Me too.
I do not remember anything about him from night one. I mean,
not at all.
I have no idea who he is.
Zero.
But I will say, whenever he was reading the date card and he was like, I need to do homework for this date, like.
Yes.
What?
Super serious. Again, a super serious, intense date. Like, spill out your whole heart to me.
Which is wild. Also, I don't know how I feel about that being so forced, because I feel like when you're in a relationship, those things come with time. And now I get that the Bachelor and Bachelorette are sped up. Like, I get that, but it still felt super forced.
Definitely.
Yeah. I just don't feel like you can open up when someone's like, open up to me now. No, like you.
Tell me your deepest, darkest secrets of your whole life.
Yeah.
I felt like I wanted the date to be a little more fun. I felt like it was heavy. It was very, very heavy. Okay. And I mean, there were some very sweet moments of it, which was nice to see. But I feel like it was overall just really, really deep, getting into it real fast.
Yeah. What did you think of them burning the dress?
When she got it out, I was like, oh, it's happening. It's happening.
I did like how she kept saying, I hold no significance, or this dress means nothing to me. I was like, you've kept it for 6 years. Clearly it means something.
But I'm glad you burned it. Get rid of Juan Pablo. Get rid of all that.
I felt like it was very cheesy, but that's kind of what The Bachelor is.
Oh,
So
definitely. But it was in a good way. It was cheesy in a good way.
I will say I felt zero romance vibes from them at all.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gave them a kiss after she gave them the rose, and I was like, okay. It
Yeah.
just felt, they have a friendship there, but that's about it.
Yeah. I think I even texted you too that I felt like that one was, there was not much going on there.
And then finally, the last date was fill in the blank. I don't know.
It was very extra.
I just feel like
in a bowl.
it would have been great if it was just dodgeball. Like, it didn't need to be strip dodgeball.
Yeah. I think the guys, I don't know how much fun they had with that. It didn't look like they were having a great time. I think they might have been more playful if it had, like you said, had been normal dodgeball, guys being guys and playing around. And I think Claire would have enjoyed it too, but I get it. Everybody's been in quarantine and everybody wants to get out. And
yeah, I will say, even if it had been strip dodgeball, but they had just worn their normal underwear versus that thong thing that they gave them.
What even was that?
But I was like, why would you force them to wear this thing where their whole butt is out? And also, like, I feel really horrible for the editor. Like, this poor the person who edited this episode deserves a freaking Emmy, because those black boxes, man, that must have taken hours.
And then their walk of shame. Can we just talk about how sad they looked? So pitiful, and they look. It was painful to watch that part.
It's not one of those days where you send half of them home early. Like, this should have been like, your punishment was freaking getting half naked out here in front of millions of people or whatever. But no, they got double the punishment apparently.
And again, she had just met these guys, so these guys are basically showing literally all of themselves to her, to all the other guys, and
Poor Chris Harrison, who did not want to see that. I will say though, I was kind of bothered by it, and I know a lot of people, at least on social media, were just kind of the double standard of it. Can you imagine if this had been The Bachelor and they told all the girls to strip dodgeball or whatever? Like, you know what I mean? I just don't get why it was necessary. If it just felt unnecessary.
I think so too. I think that it was definitely over the top. Just like we said, that we feel like most of the stuff Claire does is over the top, but and we love her for that. We get it. But I do agree, especially for this older group of guys. I think a younger group of guys might have handled it differently, but since most of these guys are older, they also kind of viewed this in a different way as well.
Yeah. But then, okay, so we fast forward, we get through the dinner portion of the day. There's only 5 guys on the date, so it's kind of interesting for so early in the season to see just a small group date. So that was interesting. But then, of course, here comes the boys, which I should point out that he broke the rules again. This guy is apparently a rule breaker, but
break the rules.
He's so cute and nice and just such a cool guy that he gets away with it and nobody's mad at him about it, you know?
Well,
the guys.
The guys are mad. Claire's not mad, which I have a lot of mixed feelings about letting Blake get away with all these things.
Tell me your feelings. I'm here therapy now.
Why does he get away with all of it? I get it. He's a cute guy. He's a nice guy. He is probably there for the right reasons. But say if like a Yusuf had done the same thing, I mean, I highly doubt he would have been treated the same way. I'm just very torn. What do you think?
But I will say that she's been asking for guys who are bold and who have the courage to do what they want and follow their heart. So I think I think had she not expressed that's what she's looking for, he maybe had not done it, you know? I think he was like, okay, she likes a guy with balls, because they kept saying that all freaking day. So I'm gonna be the guy with balls, and I'm gonna do it. So, but yeah, I did feel like the guys confronting him, all five of them being like, "What are you doing here?" Like, I feel like that was a little much. I was like, "Dude, he did it." Like,
Like,
whatever.
let's move on. Let's do the next thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I will say her rejecting his kiss. I was like,
Yeah, that was that was so awkward. And I kind of, but I also low key wanted to be a fly on the wall. Just
oh my God. Honestly, for a second after that, I was like, is she gonna send him home? But then she gave him the rose, and I was like, oh, okay, so we're fine. But
yeah, which and I do like Blake a lot. I think that he is a good guy. Um, and he's fun to watch because he does have like this playful kind of way of doing things, which I think is really sweet. Um, much like Bennett, even though I definitely don't think they're on the same playing field right now, but
no, I will say that I like Bennett just a little bit more after this episode. And the first episode, I was like, oh, pretentious, like whatever. But I kind of liked him a little bit more this time.
because he was willing to show a little more of himself, which I think is we were able to relate to him a little more this episode. And when we saw his little when we saw where he's staying,
Little pad.
so cute,
Yeah.
so cute.
I will say I think he only mentioned Harvard once this whole episode, so not bad, not bad.
Kudos to him. That's good.
Props. Another thing that stood out of this date was the whole Brandon situation, which like we loved Brandon when he stepped out of the limo. I remember night one, we texted each other and we were like, "Oh my God, this man!" Like,
Yes.
oh, but he messed up there with Claire.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. What do you think about it?
I feel like part of me can't blame him because that's true. All he really knows about her is the 5 minutes that he spoke to her night one and that he noticed she's beautiful, which she is.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, he could have watched past seasons and he could have done his research on Claire.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily fault him for not doing it because he was like, I'll just figure it out like on the show. I'll just figure out who she is when I meet her in person.
Yeah. I was very surprised by her reaction. I think that it again, very over the top.
That's Claire though. I didn't expect anything less from her.
Yeah. But wow.
I was like, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh, you're going home for sure. I felt so bad because he's so pretty.
He's so pretty. I was like, can we just have some clips at the end of every show to kind of watch?
Can we just keep him just to look at him for a little bit?
Yes.
And then who got the rose that date? Because no one really memorable.
No.
Chasen.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I don't really know. I mean, anything.
Also, I can't really remember much of what
He's a pretty boy, but
yes.
I don't. So that's that. And then I will say the episode, I feel like it ended in kind of a weird note. Normally they end on a cliffhanger or they just ended like in the middle of the rose ceremony without anything really happening.
I thought they were going to end with the whole Yusuf confrontation.
I thought so too.
Normal, because in past seasons that's what has happened is that they ended like in the middle of an argument or like you watch the person walking down the hallway like they're about to have the encounter. But I mean, clearly he's about to have some choice words for her.
Which, and I hate about to say this because I do not like him at all, but I kind of agreed with him though about his argument about how it was kind of demeaning of her to ask them to strip. And like, if him as a father, he would not have wanted to do that in front of, in TV for his daughter. I was like, I'm kind of with you on that.
I did respect him a lot for it. Could he go about it differently? Absolutely. Could he have expressed it in a different way? Yes, for sure. Is Claire going to take it well when he confronts her?
Well,
absolutely not.
And I think, from what I can tell, I'm like 99% sure that he's the one that's like, you're the oldest Bachelorette.
Oh, so. For sure. And then she responds by saying like, I'm trying to remember exactly what she says, but I think she says something along the lines of, the reason why I'm still single at this age is because of guys like you or guys like him or something like that. But
yeah, she says something like, it's because I didn't settle for men like that.
there we go. Men like you.
So I'm pretty sure. So here's my attention to detail self coming out. In that clip, when she says that, she's wearing the dress that she was wearing at the rose ceremony in last night's episode. So it happens during that rose ceremony. I'm assuming the episode will pick up at the rose ceremony. Yusuf will confront her. That whole thing will go down, or Yosef will confront him. That will go down, and then the episode will continue after that. So let's talk about the teaser then. So what do you expect from next week?
I thought the teaser was interesting because it was clearly like a compilation of a bunch of different things that are going to happen. It felt very all over the place. Mm-hmm. I wanted the teaser to show something immediately of what was going to happen next, and it didn't. It showed, like, I can't even remember exactly what it showed, but it was like something about the next group of dates or something, because then it goes back to the cocktail party in the date. And like you said, she's in the same dress, and there's clearly about to be a confrontation with Yusuf, and that's going to obviously be intense because we already know where that's going. Yeah. But I'm very curious to see what's going to happen next. What do you think?
It was all over the place. I think they talked about Dale. They say they bring up something about.
Oh, that's right.
What did they bring up? Something about him
knowing her before, or possibly getting to know her before. Which, I mean, I definitely have some questions because they're real cozy already, and
I'm gonna deny it until their graves probably. But I feel like, I don't know. I just like, and maybe we're not believers in love at first sight. I don't know, but it just feels like there's much more to it there than what they're telling us.
For sure. And I think that even their interactions, like the way that they have a lot of chemistry together. But even in their limited interaction, she pulled him aside and she's like, I want more physical touch. And like, she throws him against the wall, and I'm
that was probably what ended. They were like,
and it was great. It was great. But it definitely makes you wonder that she's not feeling any of that with any of the other guys. She's not doing anything similar to that.
Yeah, she's literally sole focus is on Dale, and that's it. You know, I mean, that's what it feels like. It feels like she's trying to kind of care about the other guys, but she's not really succeeding.
He gets all her for sure.
Yeah. So here's my prediction. I think next episode will set us up for the whole Dale thing to go down. I think we'll start to see Claire being like, oh my God, I really like this guy, and I don't know if I really like anybody else. Like nobody else compares, you know. I think we'll start to see that, and then I think in the episode after that, so episode 4 is when I think everything will go down, when she'll like quit the show. They'll be like, what the heck do we do? Blah, 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 blah. So that's my prediction.
And then enter Tayshia.
Which like, it also though, what kind of sucks about that is that, so election is coming up obviously, and election's on a Tuesday, which means there will be no Bachelorette that day. True. Unless they move it to a different day that week. Maybe they make it on Wednesday or something. We might not have a Bachelorette like at all that week. So they're gonna go from freaking Claire's in love with Dale, and what is going to happen? And then, in 2 weeks, watch what happens. We're going to be like, oh my God, we waited this long for this thing already.
Well, it seems a little convenient, right? I kind of wonder if timing is a little.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, you guys would wait until after election day to show us what happened.
Lingering, keep us waiting.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I feel like the episode wasn't that. It was an episode. It was good.
Yeah.
My God.
I mean, I think it was a lot of what we expected. I think that she's trying to make an effort with the guys, but it's really iffy. We're walking on some really sticky territory here, but because obviously Dale has her heart already. That's not a good heart.
100% he does. I will be interested in still seeing how it happens though, like how she's like, I'm gonna leave this thing. And I'm also curious to see what Dale's reaction to that is. Like, what would you do with this person you just met 2 weeks ago? It's like, I'm in love with you and I'm gonna quit my job to be with you. Like, you'd be like,
Sure.
So I'm really curious to see what happens there. So
Definitely.
I just want to say I still love Ivan. I like him even more after last night's episode. Do you know who he is now? Do you remember him?
I do. I agree. Like him
He's
too.
or a aeronautical engineer, which like,
Yes.
dude, this guy's a genius. You know, what are you doing on The Bachelorette?
I do wonder about a lot of these guys. I'm like, man,
You're like a lawyer. Why are you on a TV show?
how are you here?
Well, but Rachel Lindsay was a lawyer and she
That's true.
Bachelorette, so.
And Andy was too, right?
Andy, like,
Attorney
she's
or something.
practicing though, but yeah. So,
Wow.
we'll see what happens. We'll keep you updated, guys, on what happens.
Oh, yes.
You'll hear all our thoughts. I'm thinking for the episode when everything happens with Dale and stuff and Claire quits, whatever, I'm thinking we should have some special guests help us break it down.
That would be good. I like
that. So,
It'll be
anyways,
good.
thanks for accepting this vlog, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.